Today I wanted to talk about a book that I read recently and that I've almost read twice. Upon reading it, I almost couldn't really believe how moving it was. As I was reading it, it's like it was like slapping me in the face or punching me in the face. And the book is Meditations. I marked up this book as I read it. There's a bunch of markings in it. Let me show you real quick. Reflection on what I'm reading, you know? Basically, Marcus Aurelius was a philosopher, but also an emperor. He was an emperor for 19 years. And one of the things that makes his book so amazing is that he could do anything he wanted. He could have anything he wanted, anything he desired. If someone upset him, he could kill them, and he could indulge in anything that he ever wanted to do. And all he wanted to do was be good, be virtuous, and be moral. And that blows my fucking mind. Not even a fraction of the temptation that this man had to deal with for 19 years. And he didn't budge. But like me and you, we budge if we see a fucking Oreo. Or someone pretty says, do you want to go out? It'll just steer us off our path instantaneously. We budge off the slightest indulgence. And this man could have had the world, and he didn't want the world. He just wanted to be good. This book was written as a journal to Marcus Aurelius himself. He's essentially writing to himself. It was never meant to be published. And some fucking guy was like, no, fuck no, we have to publish this shit. After he died, obviously, it was supposed to be burned. But they found it and they're like, oh my fucking God, there's no way. There's no way we could burn this. I'm glad they didn't. It's essentially him writing a journal and reminding himself of what's important. And there's reoccurring themes. He almost writes the same things over and over again, but in different ways. He's talking to himself. It's a reminder to himself. The three main takeaways that I get from it, the three main reminders are one, nature. Now, what the fuck do you mean nature? What do you mean nature? His philosophy is guided completely by nature, or logos. He believes in divinity, or providence, which means that there's gods controlling everything. And if gods are all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good, everything that happens that is natural must be synonymous with the gods, which are all good. It's all good. So, for example, something like sickness. Why even dwell? Sickness happens to everyone. If I'm meant to be sick, it must be natural, and if it's natural, it can't be bad. So, can't even dwell on it. Or death. I already know I'm going to die. It's no surprise. And if the gods want me to die and it's a natural process and the gods are all good, then how can me dying be bad? It must be a good thing. Or at least not a bad thing, you know? It's supposed to happen. He believes that much less can hurt you. No pain can hurt you. It shouldn't change your posture. It's supposed to happen. You expect it. You know it's going to happen. You know you're going to suffer. But it shouldn't change your posture because it's not necessarily bad. You meet it with grace, you know? It can ruin your life only if it ruins your character. Otherwise, it cannot harm you inside or out. Another component of nature that's recurring in the book is that lower things live for higher things, and higher things live for each other. So remember I was saying gods, they do no wrong, they must be good, and what they create must be good. Well, gods create humans. Humans must be good, and if they're good, you must treat them good. He sees people doing bad things and doing wrongdoings as almost an expectation of their ignorance, but not that they're bad people. You can try to teach them, and if you can't teach them, be patient with them, because they're a human being. They deserve goodness, kindness, compassion, honesty, straightforwardness, everything. This goes into my second takeaway, which is control. Aurelius understands that humans, we have the ability to do bad. We're capable of very bad things. But, like I said before, because of nature, we should always steer clear of those bad things and continue to do good, because what we should do is what nature intended us to do, which is be good to each other because we're a product of this goodness. You know what I'm saying? This divine goodness. He writes so many times that people are kind of stupid, swinish creatures. But he loves them. He loves them anyway, and he cares for them, because it's what's natural to do. If someone makes him angry, he understands that his wrongdoings are a product of ignorance. I need to realize that, and I need to treat him with compassion, understanding, and patience. Bro, control. If he doesn't really indulge in pleasures, sexual endeavors, he doesn't really indulge in it. He doesn't indulge in anything that he doesn't need to indulge in. He only indulges in what he believes is his nature. So if his nature is to be good, he'll do it. If it's going against his nature to be good, he's not gonna do it. Fuck, I'm getting fucked up by mosquitoes. So no matter where you are, no matter what you do, whether you're a slave, whether you're a servant, or whether you're a king or an emperor, you have the same goal. And the only way that your life can have any harm is if you stray away from controlling your character, controlling and being a good person. If you're a good person, you got the job done. There's not much else you can do. You're a billionaire, you have nothing. Same goal. That's why I love this philosophy. And the third takeaway that I take from this book is death and time. He talks about death a lot. It's always reoccurring. Death, and time. Let me read you one quote that gave me motherfucking goosebumps the first time I read this shit. Look, I even wrote holy shit when I read it. If you've seen the present, then you've seen everything as it's been since the beginning, as it will be forever. The same substance, the same form, all of it. For me, I don't know what you take from it, but for me, it kind of blew my motherfucking socks off. No matter what happens, 5,000 years from now, 6,000 years from now, no matter what the shape of it is, no matter what the characteristics are that may be different from now, let's say there's like fucking fish people, whatever, those fish people are made up of the same things as we are. And he believes we'll essentially have the same fundamental goal, no matter what time, no matter what space, just go in accordance to nature. Nature is good, nature is beautiful, the same form. It will always be the same. He's constantly reminding himself that a lot of the things that we experience are very trivial due to the fact that we're gonna die. He has a very intimate grasp with death. Not only does he know he's gonna die, he knows everyone around him's gonna die. And he also writes that anything that he can possibly achieve, or some sort of remembrance after he's gone, is kind of meaningless because even the people that remember him will eventually die. Anyone who ever remembers me once I'm dead will remember me, and then they will die. And eventually, no one will remember me, ever. Just gone up in smoke, just like that. The same goes for the people who are the most successful of our time and of his time. And he knew that. And it kind of dictated his life. It kind of grounded him, and it made him extremely humble and grounded, even though he was one of the most powerful men to ever live. He knew that we're all in the same boat, and he knew that we all should share the same goal, which is to be good and to follow nature. Well, he believes nature, but to me, I take it as it's just to be good. No matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter where you stand, no matter how much money you have, the goal is to kind of just be good to each other. Care for them, be patient with them, be compassionate with them. And yeah, just be good. And it takes a lot of control, especially in this day and age. It takes a lot of self-control to be good. Because it's so easy to snap, and it's so easy to want, you know? Yep. Well, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, incredible book. I really recommend it. A couple of hundred of y'all who watch this, I hope you read this. This book is really, really good. Thank you, guys.